Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In this week's episode, Ponce Inlet unveils a historical marker. Officials gather to get a healthy start, and couples celebrate Valentine's Day by tying the knot. Later on in the program, Joanne Magley talks with Robin King from Career Source. These segments and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Not all of the race car excitement took place at Daytona International Speedway. Thousands of fans celebrated local racing history during two free events in Ponce Inlet during Speed Weeks. District 2 County Council member Billy Wheeler, Ponce Inlet Mayor Gary Smith, along with Daytona International Speedway and NASCAR, unveiled the historical marker at the Winter Haven Park. Just in front of the park is a small stretch of the original Atlantic Avenue, which is part of a 4.1-mile course where the Grand National Race ran from 1948 until 1958, when it was relocated to the new super speedway, today known as Daytona International Speedway. International Speedway Corporation's Chief Operating Officer, Joy Chitwood III, said there would not be the racing industry we have today if it wasn't for our rich history in the sport.
When you say the word Daytona, whether you're in America, you're in Europe, you're in Asia, people know racing. That word means racing, and I think that's a great brand for all of us to enjoy. And so you can never forget where you came from. So moments like this, when we can appreciate that, I think that's what's really special, and it wouldn't happen were it not for the communities.
After the unveiling, crowds lined Atlantic Avenue and the beach to watch the 7th annual historic North Turn Legends Beach Parade, where vintage race cars drove down Atlantic Avenue, making the South Turn onto the world's most famous beach, ending at the famed North Turn. International Speedway Corporation's Chitwood, along with NASCAR Vice Chairman Mike Helton and 40 or so other drivers, made the lap on the original course.
But what's great is all the fans that line both A1A and the beach and wave and celebrate. I think that the folks that live in this community really understand where our heritage is, and the fact that we get to share it today in a really cool thing. Communities across the country would love to be able to celebrate their history like we're doing today. We will have authentic race cars that raced on the beaches so many years ago doing it again today. That is something that's once in a lifetime.
The annual parade is a cooperative partnership among Volusia County government, the town of Ponce Inlet, and racing's North Turn restaurant. Florida's top public health official was in Daytona Beach last week. Dr. Celeste Phillip was the keynote speaker at the annual meeting of the Healthy Start Coalition of Flagler and Volusia counties. The nonprofit organization assists pregnant women, infants, young children, and their families. Dr. Phillip explains why our youngest members are an important focus for the Florida Department of Health.
The way you come into this world sets a trajectory for the rest of your life. Those first 3 years of life that I just mentioned, how important they are for brain development, for your intellect, for your social, emotional well-being, set the stage for how children do the first few years in school and ultimately graduation rates from high school going on to college. And we know that having a college degree is closely linked with having better health.
Childhood experiences, both positive and negative, have a lifelong effect on the health of children. Early experiences are an important public health issue and are a focus for the Department of Health. The Surgeon General shared the challenges the state faces in the opioid crisis and efforts to improve the outcomes for our youngest citizens.
We're going to talk about the different ways that we need to support moms and babies. Traditionally, we would think about prenatal care and what happens during the first 3 years of life, which are very important. But we now know that there are intergenerational considerations, that where we live is extremely important for our overall health.
The Department of Health in Volusia County works closely with Healthy Start. Administrator Patricia Boswell explains.
It's really critical that any pregnant woman has a successful birth outcome, and sometimes they need additional resources to get through that pregnancy in a healthy manner, and so we provide as much support as we can as a health department, but sometimes they need more, such as case management services, making sure that they get to their prenatal visits, and Healthy Start is really instrumental in that.
Boswell understands the needs of Volusia's young children and families, and the role the organizations that support them play in the health of Volusia County. Boswell's support of the agency earned her top recognition from Healthy Start at the annual meeting.
She's getting our coveted Voice for Children award, and the Voice for Children award goes to someone who's been very vocal about advocating for the needs of children in our community. Anyone that knows her knows that since she came here from Pinellas County, she brought the public back to public health.
Boswell and Mary Kaufman, who is a nationally certified lactation consultant with the Department of Health, were among a handful recognized for their commitment to Healthy Start and the families it serves. The annual event brings together a host of supporters who donate either their time, skills, or dollars to help Healthy Start help others. For more information on the Healthy Start Coalition, you can visit healthystartfv.org.
Opportunities for getting sick are everywhere. Viruses hang out in lots of places, and they love to follow you home. But there are ways to beat them, and beat them before they even have a chance to cause you problems. Vaccinations are like personal shields against disease. They're your first line of defense against many common infections, like tetanus or flu. Interested in learning more? Visit flu-freeflorida.com and learn how to keep vaccine between you and disease. A message from the Florida Department of Health.
We are all about promoting smart transportation solutions for Central Florida's workforce. And that includes options like carpooling, vanpooling, riding transit, and biking to work. Well, we are really excited about the 2018 Not So Noisy Bike Week. It kicks off Monday, February 19th with an event at Daytona State College. On Tuesday, we have an event at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And on Wednesday is our first event at Bethune-Cookman University. And then Thursday, there's actually a bike light distribution at the northwest corner of Aerospace Boulevard and Clyde Morris by Embry-Riddle, all leading up to the Saturday Community Festival and Bike Ride at Bethune-Cookman University's School of Nursing. The Community Festival kicks off at 9 a.m. with that kid-friendly bicycle safety rodeo. And then at 10 a.m. we're welcoming adults only, please, to join us for the bike ride. It's actually going to be police escorted, and it's about a 6.5-mile bike ride, slow-paced, but we're going to get to see really the whole city. We're just really excited about Bike Week in 2018. If you want more information, you can find it at bikeweek.org or give us a call at 866-610-7433.
For 20 years, 4-H'ers in Central Florida have been exploring the Florida citrus industry by growing their own trees and all that goes along with it. Today on Solutions for Your Life, Laura Cash, UFIFAS Extension 4-H agent in Volusia County, takes us to the 4-H District 8 Citrus Tree Project event with all the juicy details.
Hello, I'm Laura Cash, Volusia County 4-H Extension Agent with Solutions for Your Life. We've traveled across the bridge to Seminole County, and we're here at the Seminole County Extension Office for the 4-H Citrus Tree Project, which is a partnership between Lake, Orange, Seminole, and Volusia counties. Today, the youth are here to have their trees judged, take part in a knowledge test, and to turn in their record books. The District 8 Citrus Contest this year involves a Persian lime tree. They're also known as bears or Tahiti limes, and they're a cross between a key lime and a lemon. Chelsea Woodard, the Seminole County 4-H agent, served as host at the Seminole County Extension Office for this year's event.
The kids have been working for the last year growing their citrus trees. They've been going on field trips to learn about the citrus industry. They've gone to the citrus research station down south.
This year's tree is on rough lemon rootstock. These are just a few of the things that the youth learn about their trees. is how disease resistant a rootstock is, as well as that particular scion, the tree, resistant to greening and other diseases. Stephen Lomersey, Seminole County 4-H Youth, has been doing this project for 10 years.
So my citrus tree, I have had it since this past April in 2017, and ever since then I've been spraying pesticides, herbicides for the soil, and nutritional sprays to keep off the citrus greening, and I got a blue ribbon on my tree, so I'm happy with that, and I'm moving on to the auction in March.
We have people come from all over Central Florida to bid on the trees. The grand champion tree will get $500 for a $10 investment in their tree.
It's underground. Do you need oxygen?
The citrus tree judging was performed by two individuals, one of which is Steve Crump, the owner of Volusia Farms.
You know, I'm always impressed at how many children like to do this, how many 4-Hers want to grow a tree, and then it's always impressive to see how well some of them have done.
For the Citrus Tree Skillathon, the youth had to do several sections on a knowledge test, including identification. So they have to be familiar with the different types of citrus grown in Florida. For instance, navel orange, pomelo, Duncan grapefruit, diseases such as alternaria and greening, and deficiencies.
I had 2 trees. I bought 2 trees, but this is the one we chose because the other one was taller. This one is more round.
We also have a newcomer, Leif Perry of Seminole County, who's doing the project for the very first time.
I like being in the 4-H program because when I was first introduced to it, it seemed fun, and it got more fun over the years. And then this is my first blue ribbon.
Did you know that over 75% of all citrus grown in Florida is used for juice? Because our winds are so high that most fruit gets damaged by the wind and is suitable for juice making and not for the fresh fruit market. Do you know what citrus greening is? Or can you tell what alternaria is? Or if a citrus tree has a zinc deficiency? Well, these youth can. And on March 31st at the Lake County Extension Office, they're going to auction their trees off to the highest bidder and have a wonderful award ceremony where a scholarship and a horticulturalist award will be presented. Hope to see you there. With Solutions for Your Life, I'm Laura Cash.
Volusia County felt the love Wednesday with the clerk's office hosting 2 group wedding ceremonies in honor of Valentine's Day. Dozens of couples tied the knot at one of 2 gatherings, a morning ceremony in Daytona Beach and an afternoon ceremony in DeLand. Laura Roth, clerk of the Circuit Court for Volusia County, performed the nuptials.
Yes, it's a wonderful day. I mean, we all love the way Valentine's celebrates love everywhere, and so it occurred to us that every year lots of couples come and get married at the clerk's office, and so we thought, why not throw group ceremonies, offer a public service by discounting the ceremony fee, and so we did it. This was our first one in both Daytona and DeLand, and it's been wonderful.
After declaring their love and sealing their vows with a traditional wedding kiss, couples received a decorative certificate of marriage, and they celebrated with refreshments.
Gentlemen, you may kiss your bride.
Just fell in love in Daytona. I actually engaged in Daytona right here on the beach. Then we was sitting at, about a week ago, we was back there and eating at Bubblegum Shrimp Company. She said, hey, why don't we just tie the knot on Valentine's Day and celebrate it the right way? Said, why not? And here we are.
Valentine's Day, it's a no-brainer, and better now than later. So.
And why today?
Because we're in love.
We're in love. It's Valentine's Day. It's the day of love, and it's going to be a very easy anniversary to remember. It feels like everybody's celebrating with you.
Though unconfirmed, there were reports of a plump, floating cherub in attendance at both events. And while the official Day of Love has passed for 2018, the Circuit Court believes any day is a great day to get married. The clerk's office has plans for another group wedding event during Bike Week.
Looking forward to our next group wedding, one of my favorites, which is the biker wedding, which will be on March 16th at Main Street Station in Daytona.
So pull out your leather formal wear and get your motor running. For information, you can call 386-736-5911. On any given day, severe weather can threaten the area. Storm spotters and communities play a vital role in the early detection and verification of weather-related hazards. And with some training, you could become one of the thousands of volunteers helping to keep communities safe.
It's an absolutely wonderful class. You learn so much about Florida weather and, and all the things that go on with our weather patterns. So you can actually contact the National Weather Service Melbourne office with, information about what you're seeing. If you see, certain types of conditions, a possible tornado, shelf clouds, a lot of interesting things that they'll get to learn in the class.
Volusia County Emergency Management is hosting Skywarn Spotter Training Tuesday, February 27th at the Emergency Operations Center located at 3825 Tiger Bay Road in Daytona Beach. A beginner's course is from 10 a.m. to noon, followed by an advanced course from 1 to 3 p.m.
When you have someone that you can contact and will tell you specifically what's going on in that area, it's very helpful because obviously the meteorologists are looking at, so much technology and radar and so many things, but yet having that individual that they can contact to say, is there hail? Is there straight line winds or what's actually going on in your neighborhood?
Skywarn training is free. Online pre-registration is required. For more information, call 386-254-1500, extension 11633, or email Ruth Ann Tansley at rtownsley@volusia.org. Let's join Community Information Director Joanne Magley in the studio with her guest, Robin King, CEO and President of CareerSource Flagler Volusia.
Thanks, Amber. Well, businesses looking to hire top talent and job seekers looking to start or further their career can get free employment services here in Volusia County. So with me today to talk more about this topic is Robin King. She's the president and CEO of CareerSource Volusia Flagler Volusia, actually. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin, for being here today.
Certainly. Thank you for having me.
So the economy's doing better, doing pretty well, actually. You just look around and you see all the development happening. Unemployment numbers are down. The fourth quarter of 2017, unemployment in Volusia County was at 3.8%, which is actually just a smidgen lower than the national average. And
I think it's the lowest it's been since 2006.
And if you rewind even just to fourth quarter 2016, that number was 5.1%. So we've come a long way. But that said, there are still people that are seeking employment and still businesses in our county that are looking for help in getting employees. So first, let's talk about the programs that CareerSource has for those people looking for jobs.
Okay. So we serve anybody who walks through the door. It can be someone with a doctorate degree all the way to someone who doesn't have a high school diploma. And literally, we have all of those walking through the door, either our physical doors or electronic services. We can do anything from helping with a resume. Resume is how an employer might weed somebody out. So what makes it catchy, what makes it stand out, what is it, something that's interesting to read as opposed to a 10-page, biography of somebody. And so it'll help with that. Learning how to find jobs online, because everyone You know, whether it's through our services or any of the others that are out there, teaching people how to navigate that. We do a variety of assessments for individuals that might have always done one thing and they don't know if because that job might not exist anymore, or they want to broaden their horizons. So, so anybody, there's no eligibility for those kinds of services that they can come in. We moved to a lot of online workshops a little over a year ago. Everything from resume writing to how to get the best out of a job fair, just some basic skills. And then we also have labs internally if someone doesn't have a computer at home or they want to come in and do more. You know, we have that available to them.
So do you sort of walk through the steps with the client and kind of follow them through as far as they can go with your programs?
Yeah, so when someone walks through our door physically, the first person that they're ever going to meet is someone who will find out what it is that they're really specifically looking for and connecting to that first step quickly. And making sure they know about the services that we have to offer. If someone doesn't know that we pay for training, whether it's at the local schools or through on-the-job training, that they kind of go through all that. And it's at that time we also determine veterans have first priority for all of our services, as well as low-income individuals. And so it's a place there that we can kind of say, you know, you have a higher priority, these are the services that you'd be eligible for.
All right, now let's switch over to assistance that you offer for companies in the hiring process. And you mentioned training. What are some of the programs that you work with area businesses on when they're looking to hire employees because they have positions that they can't fill?
We do anything from helping with recruitment, and that can be job fairs. We can do recruitment events in our centers, or we can do it at their place. It's really customized to what that business needs. With the hiring, we can help offset the cost of that upfront training through paying some of the wage of it. And right now, especially when you're talking about the unemployment rate where it's at, how do we help businesses retain their current workforce? And nothing does that faster or better than training them. And so we will work with businesses on upgrading the skills. We don't do the training directly, we just help offset the cost of that for businesses.
And I know that Team Volusia does a lot of recruitment efforts to bring companies into the area. Our cities and our county have economic development divisions for retention and expansion, actually. And I know that your career source is often mentioned when they're talking about recruitment, because if a company's going to come in, they need to know that there's a workforce. So how do you work in that economic development circle?
So depending on the company, what type of labor that they're going to be looking for. Well, we do anything from pulling labor shed reports, whether if they've identified a particular area and kind of go out as a drive time from that and just showing who's already has that. And then a big part of that is also showing them the pipeline of future talent, because it's not just who you want to have working for you the day that you move in, but who's your workforce going to come from, where's it going to come from in 5 to 10 years. And so again, with what Volusia County Schools is doing with their academies and their career and technical education, what Daytona State offers, or our universities, or there are a lot of training providers actually in the area that would help supply that. One of the things that we were part of with some of our career source partners is we did a talent supply study. And it's of all the universities, post-secondary education in Flagler, Volusia, Brevard, the 5 counties in Central Florida, and Polk. There's 75,000 graduates that come out of all those post-secondary. So we can show what all the different training programs are and what the graduation rates are, and showing that this is the talent that we want to retain in our area.
Yeah, and we certainly do have our share of great colleges and universities here. So in the past, you've sponsored or you've participated in programs that help grow careers, such as the Startup Quest, which helps people learn how to basically run their own business. So how do programs like that work with Career Source, as far as why is it important to teach people skills for being their own boss?
So the Startup Quest was a program that we had for a set amount of time. Through that, though, we really learned the importance of knowing how to run your own business, even if you never do. So you've heard the term entrepreneur. There's a term called entrepreneur. And it is where businesses want to hire people that understand how their business works, not just whatever that job is going to be. So we work a lot with Innovate Daytona and the program called Accelerate, which is creatingjobs.org. And they both run programs, whether that's the Million Cups program. We also are working with Lou Paris now over at Stetson University and their Entrepreneur Center that they're starting up. And supporting them, whether that's through training, through access. There's Kickstart Weekend that we sponsored. The UCF Incubator held a hackathon and some other things recently. And we have we actually had some people on my team that participated in those so that they could learn the same skill set.
And I know years back when the recession hit and a lot of people were out of work, that was a very important avenue for people to consider of they're out of work and they can't do what they used to do. And a great option was starting your own business if you had the tools available.
Even if you do both, if you're an employee but you still have a side business, think of how many people have had side businesses in their garage or they're selling Tupperware, whatever that is. Are they doing it in a legal and ethical manner and just giving themselves the permission to be innovative and explore things?
And so Career Source, they play a good role in assisting businesses after disasters.
Thank you for that question. Our main role is brokering information. And it's so difficult to do that right after hurricane because you're busy restoring. After Irma, for example, the number one message we wanted to get out is it's called disaster unemployment assistance that comes through the state. And people that might not be eligible for unemployment assistance would be eligible for this disaster unemployment. That can be those startups we just talked about, you know, individuals who own their own company but aren't paying into the unemployment, they could get something like that. Our workforce is changing a lot. We have a lot more 1099ers, they're referred to as, that they're not really employees, so no one's paying unemployment, but they're eligible for the disaster unemployment. The bridge loan information, you know, we were brokering a lot of that. And then we get something that's called a National Emergency Grant that is intended for humanitarian efforts and for cleanup efforts, that we become an employer of record for those individuals who might have lost their employment because of the storm and get them employed then in either short-term or long-term recovery efforts. And that's something that we are participating in now for Irma, and we just got a grant to serve evacuees from Maria. So anyone who moved here from Puerto Rico after September 17th, we have training dollars that can assist them. And sometimes they don't really need even the training. They might have been a truck driver in Puerto Rico. Well, now they need to get a new license in Florida. And so we can just pay for the license for them. I mean, whatever their specific need is, we want to help them with that.
Well, that is great information. And I know you have multiple ways for job seekers and such to stay in touch with everything that you have going on at Career Source. So talk about the technology, how you use technology to keep people up to date.
So it depends on who likes what's, you know, so we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. And anytime we have hiring events and whatnot, we post it there. If someone goes to our website, there's a lot of information on there, and people can also sign up for text alerts. And so when something's coming up, and they're not always just our job fairs. For example, the Volusia County Schools might have just had their job fair or it's coming up, but we push information out on those kinds of efforts as well.
All right, so for people to get more information, where should they go for your website?
The website is careersourcefv, as in flaglervolusia.com, and the main phone number is 386-323-7001.
All right, well, Robin King, the CEO and President of Career Source Flagler Volusia, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate your time.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osman. Have a wonderful evening.